This 2007 Toyota FJ Cruiser with 125,000 miles and four-wheel drive is for sale here in the beautiful city of Waikoloa on the big island of Hawaii. We've had this truck for about a year and a half and it's been a really fun truck, and I'm going to show you everything that we know about it so we'll discover if it's the right truck for you. One thing you'll notice is that the suspension is still in fabulous shape. Even going up a steep incline or going down a steep decline, the suspension is still quite strong. There's no sag or anything like that. Is that the clear coat is in pretty funky shape up here on the hood, and there are plenty of rock chips to go around on the front hood as well. For me, if I was going to keep this truck any longer, I would either paint the hood or I would wrap it. Wrapping it is so inexpensive these days, maybe that's the better choice. Now inside, this is Toyota's 4-liter 6-cylinder engine. It has 239 horsepower, 278 pound-feet of torque. It has been well serviced, including well serviced by us. In fact, we just had it serviced. The oil change was done at Waikoloa Automotive. If we look around, we will discover right there that we use Toyota components, and so no cheap stuff. It is in original condition and it is in excellent condition. The engine on this truck drives incredibly well. Let's take a look on the sides. Now, one thing is, the truck's a little bit lifted. I'm going to say it's about 3 inches of lift. That was done before us, but the ride quality is really, really good. I don't know if you can zoom in and take a look at the brakes. These are slotted and drilled rotors with red calipers. We actually did a complete brake upgrade on this about a year ago, and so the whole deal was replaced front and rear with vastly superior brakes, and so the brakes on this FJ are really nice. The wheels are cool, they're in great condition. The tires have plenty of tread and lots of miles left on them. We've gone off-road, so some of these outer edges, going through the lava rocks and stuff like that, going out to all the beaches, going up to the top of Mauna Kea, stuff like that. Tiny bit worse for wear, but the tires overall are in great shape. Let's take a look around. Now, this does have side step-up bars, Smitty built side step-up bars, and they are really, really nice. And then this is kind of a 4-door. It's really a 2-door, but it does have the 2 swing-out doors in the back. Now, I'm 6 feet tall, 185 pounds. If I'm up in the front, I'm actually in really comfortable position here. Just to give you an idea, the seat, you're certainly welcome to play around with it. It goes way back further. I'm comfortable right about this position right here, and tons of headroom. But you still have great visibility. Even if you're not 6 feet tall, you have really, really nice visibility up front because you sit in a really tall way here in the driver's seat. Let's jump in back. Now, one of the criticisms of the FJ is that it's a fuller size sport utility, but there isn't very much room in the back. Well, again, it's 6 feet tall. I actually have plenty of room. I'm not even reaching the seat, even with the front seat in a comfortable position for me driving. And so 2 adults in the back, no problem. 3 adults in the back in a pinch. It's actually more spacious than I think people give it credit for. It is theater style seating, so that you're sitting much taller in the back than you are in the front, so you still have great visibility out of the windshield even if you're in the back. You'll also notice that this does have side airbags. That was an option in 2007. Almost all FJ Cruisers come with that option, but just know that it has it. Taking a look in back, you'll notice that it does have a 5th alloy wheel with a 5th Mickey Thompson tire in the back. When you see this exterior mounted tire, you know that it has at least the Convenience Package 1, which is a nice set of features to have. But when you see the subwoofer in the back, you know that it has Convenience Package 2. And when it has Convenience Package 2, it has pretty much every option that you can get in 2007. It is not a TRD, which would be the absolute top of the line, but it does have dark glass in the sides, so that's from the factory. It does have the aforementioned side airbags. It has a great 9-speaker stereo system. It has running boards in this case. It has a rear window wiper, roof rack. It's got a lot of cool features. In fact, it has pretty much every single thing that you can get in a 2007. Now, one thing you'll notice is that it has some other neat features above and beyond some of the convenience features. It has what's called A-TRAC or advanced track, and that feature is right here. It's got the subwoofer button. It has a locking differential as well, and then it also has rear parking sensors. And in a big chunky truck like this, those rear parking sensors are a nice feature. It has a really nice stereo system. I don't deserve it. Speakers are in great shape. Air conditioning, I don't have it to max cold, but we just keep it at this cold. It has about the nicest air conditioning system on an import vehicle I've ever owned in my life. It's almost like a big American truck. The air conditioning works so good. Now, one thing that about this truck, so it's lifted and it has oversized off-road tires. So the tires rub when you make really sharp turns. And I'm going to show you exactly how it rubs when you make really sharp turns. It does have wheel spacers. They're about maybe an inch, 3/4 of an inch, something like that. And so you're free to take those wheel spacers off. If you just take the wheels off, they're just sitting right there. They would just come right out. Or if you like the look, it's kind of a chunkier look with the wheel spacers on. It doesn't make a big difference on the tire rub one way or the other. It's just more the aesthetics of it. But I'm going to make a U-turn here and show you, or at least you'll be able to hear, the tires rub. So at this level, no problem. But if I make it a little bit sharper, you can hear how the tires rub in the front. And so this has a 41-foot turning radius. I would say without the tires rubbing, it's probably more like a 44-foot turning radius. But if you make a sharp turn all the way to the limits, right or left, the tires are going to rub against the interior of the wheel well. Let's take it out on the open road. One thing about the FJ is it's very punchy. When I give it some gas, it actually moves really good from 0 to 60, which is surprising. You know, it's over 4,300 pounds of weight. It's 4-wheel drive, it's lifted, it's got every negative thing as far as acceleration you would think would go against it, but it doesn't have much of a top speed. You know, I've never taken it over 90 or anything like that, but I can't imagine it goes much faster than that. But 0 to 60, it's actually great. 5-speed automatic transmission, so it has a very modern automatic transmission. Transmission's in really nice condition. It shifts very, very well. This truck pretty much does every single thing really well, whether it's driving Off-road, like I said, we like to go to some of the cool beaches here on the island that requires you to drive over lava fields and such. We also like to go up to Mauna Kea and check out what's going on up at the top over there. If you've ever driven up there, you know that road can be pretty abusive, but this truck will do it all. It gets about 16 miles per gallon in the year and a half that we have had it. That's pretty consistent with what the factory says. I think it's 15 city and 17 highway, us averaging 16 right down the middle. It does take premium gas, or at least the factory recommends that you use premium gas. Different years don't require premium gas. I don't know what's different about them, but all I know is we've only used premium gas as long as we have had it. You'll notice that this has this extra gauge cluster up here as well. That's one of the features of the convenience packages. It does have remote entry. We have one remote and 2 keys. Taking turns, even going up hills, no problem. Yeah, it drives great. We're gonna turn right up here. It drives nice. There's not much you can say about it. It's an FJ Cruiser. You know, in that $20,000 range for a sport utility, one thing I recommend, you know, whether it's my car or any car, is that try and find something, if you can, that still has value, not at like 100 and X thousand miles, but at 200 and X thousand miles. And you're going to realize pretty quickly there's only one brand that has just killer for certain resale value north of 200,000 miles, and that's Toyota. You know, whether it's a 4Runner, a Land Cruiser, an FJ Cruiser, a Tacoma, anything, especially in 4-wheel drive, that's a Toyota, even with 200,000 miles, just a no-brainer. Killer resale value. It's the kind of truck where you can honestly say, you know, what's this thing bring 100,000 miles from now, 225,000 miles? 12 grand, 13 grand? You know, to be able to drive something for 100,000 miles as cool as this, and you know, any FJ Cruiser is a cool truck, but this one's a nice one. But to be able to drive it for not that much money for such a long period of time, you see why people like Toyota 4-wheel drive so much. And they're just so darn reliable. The only issue I can think of on this one is the power window on the passenger side. It works, but it works from the driver's side, not from the passenger side. But everything else, as far as I know, works just as the factory intended.